Okay.
Yep.
Brian, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You had a pretty adventurous weekend, man.
Yeah, it was the last time out with the car, and it was definitely something to remember, that's for sure.
The previous weekend, just to talk about it real quick, we went down to Mike Hill's race. Yeah.
Yes.
We how many times you beat Tony Bynes?
We ran him twice and we beat him twice.
Yeah.
Everybody knows up here in the north, the season comes to an end toward the end of the year, so we like to travel. We like to support a lot of other racers, other promoters, and that's what we do. When the tracks close here, we try to travel and still show love and give support to everyone. So Mike Hill had a year-end finale down at the House of Hook in South Carolina, and we went down there. We got in a shootout on Thursday. We grudged Tony Bynes for the first round of the shootout, and we won. And then I ended up getting a bye in the second round, and we pulled Candy Crusher in the third round. We lost to Candy Crusher.
Yeah.
And then on Saturday, we had a lock-in race with Tony Bynes again, and we ended up beating him. And at that time, he wanted to lock back in, so that brings us to this past weekend, which we went to Darlington for Big Jake's race.
Yep.
And we had a locked-in race for the first round of the shootout. The shootout was a free entry race, $10,000 to win, and Tony Bynes and myself had a locked-in race for the first round for $1,500 or better. So we get there Thursday. I like to prep. I like to do as much as I can.
I think Thursday's your favorite day. Everywhere you go,
Yes.
you show up.
I try to be prepared as much as possible.
Yeah.
You know, if it's one thing that Chris Tootin and Dave Zimmerman both taught me, it was to prepare yourself as much as you can. And obviously, you can see we don't have the motor that everyone else has. So what we lack in horsepower, we try to gain in prep itself.
Mm-hmm.
So we never been to Darlington. We heard nothing but good things. And a bad track can hurt you just as well as a good track. If you've never been on a great track and you don't know how to get down it, it can hurt you. You know, you can wheelie. There's just too many things that can happen. So we get there Thursday. We do some testing. Everything's going great. We're doing personal best. Come Friday, same thing. Everything's going awesome. Saturday comes. It's a pretty cold day. So Big Jake takes and starts everything a little earlier. We go out. We make a shakedown. And I wanted to make a shakedown once in the right lane and once in the left lane. That way, when I get to the first round of the shootout, or if I won or lost the coin toss, I was prepared for either lane. You know, I didn't want Tony to have any advantages on me. I wanted to have everything as much as I could go my way. So I'm making a pass around 120 feet. I feel the car just start jerking on me. And then the back end of the car just cuts right. And I start doing circles. And I look up and I notice my tire is just going down the track.
So what happened? What happened with that? Like, did the tire break? That a lot of people are confused about what happened.
The first thing that I had thought was I broke an axle. That was the very first thing I thought. It wasn't until I actually got out of the car and TC came over and was looking and said, "Hey, your rim broke." I was like, "Well, of course my rim broke. I seen the thing flying down the track." He goes, "No, the centerpiece of the rim actually broke off the rim." So I went over, took a look, and I'm going to grab the centerpiece right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is the centerpiece that was on the rim. It was actually bolted on the rear end itself. All the lug nuts were on, everything was on. You know, we took pictures right when it happened, showed everyone. And what happened as we were going down the track, this section still bolted on the rear end, this separated from the rim, caused the rim to pop out, the tire, and just, you know, the rest is history. The tire went and took off. I bounced off the wall. And like I said, at that time, The damage itself was both of the carbon tubs were blew out. The back window was split. The quarter window was split. The body from the quarter window back was just completely cut apart. I mean, it was not pretty, you know. And it's a fiberglass body, so when something hit it, it just went to shreds. Had it been a steel body, it may have not been that bad. But so we get it on the flatbed and we get it back to the pits, and we start looking at it and we think, hey, maybe it's not as bad as we thought, you know. The original hit it takes a toll on your emotions, and you know, when you're on such a high from a good previous weekend and a good weekend there, and then you see something like that, it just kills your vibe and it kills the team's vibe.
Now, a lot of people. It's been a lot of posts since, right? So it's been articles from Drag Illustrator. It's been pictures. What has Cartel done? Like, have he reached out to you? What's going on with Cartel?
Cartel had called me the day that it happened, and asked exactly what happened, and I explained to him the same thing that I explained to you, and told him he can go on the Facebook and see the all the information and any proof that he needed. And at the time, you know, he said, well, I'm going to try to do what I can to help you. But in a roundabout way, it was more or less what he's able to try to do as far as labor-wise or work-wise, just because he wasn't in a financial situation that he could just fix everything that was wrong with the car. And, you know, I said, well, whatever, figure out whatever you got to do what you got to do. You know, this is on Saturday. So I tried texting him on Sunday because he had asked had I had the information for the guys at VFN, and I told him that my body was a Glass Tech, not a VFN. But if someone's trying to help me, beggars aren't going to be choosers. You know, I chose Glass Tech because I love their product and it was a great product. I've never had anything VFN, so I don't know what their product was like to say anything positive or negative about it. If Joe had any previous experiences with them, I was going to trust his word. So I sent him the information for the guys at Glass Tech, and I never heard anything back from them. Monday, I sent him another text and said, hey, you know, you said you're going to do something. We're going to put a little video together. If you want to do something, now's your time to do it before the video. And if you don't, you know, that's fine too. So I never heard anything back from him on Monday. Monday night, I make a post stating that, you know, he tried reaching out to me. I've texted him a couple times with no replies. You know, I don't know what his intentions were. I felt like he was just making the post of trying to reach out to someone to get the heat off him. That's how I felt at the time. Tuesday comes, and he ends up calling me. And I answer the phone, and he's trying to figure out what he could do to help. And the thing about it is, you know, we went out there, we had 2 different accidents, you know, the other which I haven't spoke about, but we're going to get into great detail here shortly. And he had said that he was going to try to do something to help me from what happened on the original portion of the accident. He said that he feels that the Heim joint breaking on the second one wasn't due to his rim or hitting the wall. He said he feels it was due to tire shake. And I don't feel that. Once again, there's no way that neither him nor I can prove either of our facts are correct. But, you know, he had stated that he thought it was due from tire shake, and you know, I told him this car don't have but 30 passes on it. The rims have 25 passes on those rims. Those rims were brand new this year.
Do you think it's fair to say that this rim could have possibly cost you your car and your life?
Absolutely. And the thing that bugs me most about it is, you know, I didn't know that they weren't SFI certified. You know, when I went to pick the rims up, he was still working on them in the shop. I waited about 2-3 hours for him to finish up. And, you know, everyone says, well, you know, if they're SFI, they got stickers, they got this, they got that. And I understand that. I had, and it's my fault, assumed that they were SFI certified and that there was no sticker on it because when I was at the shop, he was a little behind and I was waiting 3 hours to get it. He was actually putting the centers and putting the, you know, he was doing everything to it, so I just assumed he didn't put all the stickers on to get me in and get me out. But, you know, that's my fault for assuming. Everyone knows the saying when you assume what happens. But you know, they're not certified, so I can't tell you if the test would have brought something to light. You know, if it could have maybe said that the rim wasn't what it was supposed to be. That I don't know, and I don't want to speak on it because we don't have the information about it. But where we stand now is he's going to contact the guys at Glass Tech, which they called me, and he was going to get the body itself, which is you know, the roof and the quarters. I myself am purchasing the doors, the hood scoop, the deck lid, carbon tubs. You know, I'm probably around $35,000 with damages, and he wanted to try to cover what was damaged the very, very first time, which I do appreciate that. You know, but what was damaged the first time was I had a set of rims that were destroyed. I have a set of carbon tubs that were destroyed. My back window was blew out, my quarter window was blew out. And then the taking off of the body and the resetting of the body. So his help is greatly, greatly appreciated. You know, but it's $2,000 and a $35,000 project.
I mean, that's the you spent more on that on the tires. I feel like, but okay.
Yeah, well, you know, and like I said, I greatly appreciate his help, and he is trying to do something. But it's difficult to be in my shoes. It's just a hard decision, you know. And I know he doesn't have to do nothing. He's trying to be a good person. He's trying to help out. I do understand that. He had stated that you know, he could possibly help me set the body, and what they built me saved my life, as opposed to, you know, what almost took it, if that makes any sense. So we got the car in a flatbed, and we're heading back to the trailer. And at that point, you know, it's pretty disheartening to see something like that when you're on a great weekend. Everything's working good. I mean, it's just it was just a great weekend. Everything's working good, and then, you know, the rim breaks and it kills your vibe. So I'm sitting in there. I got a couple guys looking at the situation. You know, we had multiple race teams over there, first checking on me and then looking at the car, and then I hear a couple guys, hey, you know, we could do this, we could fix that, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Do you got a set of rims? Then, you know, then that started getting me pumped. You know, everyone feeds off of everyone's energy. And so I get out there and I look at it. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not as bad. You know, we had a big old roll of black duct tape. We start going to town, looking at everything and trying to assess the situation to see what happened. Next thing you know, we got the whole car taped up in the rear. It doesn't look that bad. You know, nothing's going to fly off, nothing's going to come apart, nothing's going to endanger anyone in the other lane as far as coming off the car and affecting them. So the most important thing we come to is the suspension part. We get a set of tires from David Floyd and we put them on. We start the car, we run through his gears. We make sure that the tires aren't wobbling, everything's nice and straight. We put our hands all in the 4-link bar, the wishbone, the shocks. I mean, we're touching bolts, we're checking everything. Everything seems good. So at that time comes a decision of, should I go or should we keep it there? And the first round of the shootout has already had a time set, I believe, of 4 o'clock. And this was probably around 1:30, 2 o'clock that this had happened. So we make a decision to look over the car once again, double check, make sure everything is good. If it was good, we're going to go do a test hit to see what happens. We wanted to do a test hit, and we wanted to do it by ourselves just in case something happened. We pull up into the lanes. The Moses brothers got a small block car, great group of guys. They ended up getting paired next to us because there were so many people there. The track wanted to run pairs as opposed to individuals to keep both lanes even. So, you know, we had an agreement with the Moses brothers that I was going to leave first. They were going to just sit there so that I could do my thing, you know, for safety reasons.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Went out there, made the pass. Everything was fine. Brought it back, jacked it back up, looked at everything. Everything still seemed right. So at that point, you know, the car had a wreck. We put it back together. We made a pass. Everything seems good. And then you got the reality of me racing Tony Bynes in the first round of the shootout of a $10,000 free entry shootout. Now, the shootout had a lot of big bears in it. There was David Floyd in the Showtime camp with his Big Daddy car. Herb and Chris Tootin had got in. You know, those are my guys. They had only got in because they assumed that I wasn't getting in. So, you know, we wanted someone from our camp to try to get in and win the shootout. Well, after I decided we were going to get in, that ended up unfortunately meaning that we were going to have 2 cars and possibly could race each other. But nonetheless, you know, Herb's got a fast car. He's in the shootout. Little Rick's got a fast car, the Trump Mustang. He's in the shootout.
Real fast, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of fast cars in there. I'm looking at the weather. It's a high of 58 that day for a low of 33. The high was at 3 o'clock in the shootout. Like I said, I think started around 4 o'clock. Our intentions at the time were to go ahead and give it a go and let's see what happens. The previous week when we were at Mike Hill's race, we specifically made a pass when it was cold. It was between 39 to 41 degrees, around there. I'm not 100% sure. But we specifically did that to get a tune to see if we can go down when it was cold, because we knew what we were coming into the following week. And as I stated, you know, we try to prepare ourselves for any conditions as much as possible. I kind of felt like I had the upper hand in those conditions as opposed to some of these other cars with very, very large engines. And considering that a lot of guys in the South don't see that weather much, and we do up here. Mm-hmm. So at that time, Trump had issues, Herb's car's leaking oil, and Big Daddy couldn't get in. So we got 3 big bears.
So you felt like you had the chance.
We had 3 big bears
Yeah.
weren't able to do what they were supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Now I got a chance.
10,000.
And it's $10,000, and it's Tony Bynes, who I just beat the week before twice, for a $1,500 additional dollars. You know, I got a chance to make $11,500, and that's great. So we took the chance. You know, the way we assessed the situation was we looked at everything. Everything was good. We made a pass. It went down the track. Everything was fine. We overlooked everything again, and it was fine. So we thought we had the game covered. You know, we did everything. We thought we were doing the right thing. Well, I don't want to say we. It was me. I'm the one who makes the decisions. I don't put that on anyone else. I make the decision if the car goes or not. That's on me. So we go up. We do our burnout. No vibration. No nothing at all. Car does amazing. Let go of the button. Car runs its personal best ever to 330, and does a very, very good number out the back. After I let off the gas, I start feeling the car swaying side to side. As I'm hitting the brakes, it's like it felt weird, like the body's going one way and the rear end's going another way. Now I understand why. Was the Heim joint that holds the wishbone actually snap and separated. And for people that don't know, a wishbone keeps the rear end centered in the car. Without a wishbone, the car goes like this. You know, they completely separate, which I'm going to show you. And that's what happened on the pass. Was after we were out of the gas at the very end, past the 8th mile, the Heim joint broke. Car got upset. Ended up scraping the cement wall and then hit the guardrail on the right hand side.
Oh shit.
Tony Wright was driving the chopper car with the primetime crew that Tony Bynes runs, and he came up to me, gave me his condolences, everything, said that he tried staying as close to me as possible for as long as possible because he's seen what happened, and he wanted to be as close as possible in case he needed to be there. So, you know, from racer to racer, I appreciate stuff like that, and for him to think that fast about something like that, you know, that means a lot. We get in the internet, we cut up, we talk shit, you know, but no racer wants to see another racer get hurt.
That's right.
But, you know, so that was the story of what happened, and if you want, come back here and I'll kind of show you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk around the car and kind of show you guys the aftermath of it. You know, having a fiberglass body, it kind of makes it look worse than what it is. And I don't know that it's any better off, you know, until we put it in the jig. But online, it looked like the entire car was destroyed. It was totaled. And it is messed up, but I don't think that it's totaled. If I had to assume, and I won't know until I take it over to Rick Jones and he puts it on the jig, I'm going to assume that they're going to cut from the firewall forward and redo everything. There's no dicks, no, cuts, no nothing on any of the bars in here. Everything back here looks good. But that's for Rick to find out once he gets it on his jig. Rick called me that Monday at the airport as he was flying back home. I believe he was at a race. And, first off, asked how I was, how I'm doing, which, is greatly appreciated. That's one thing I can say about my sponsors is I don't just have a sponsorship from them, I have a friendship, between Rick Jones, Dave Zimmerman, Camera Converters, Mike Panetta with the Diamond Pistons, Aaron with Nitrous Express, Mike Abney, all those guys, all call and check on me, and it's very overwhelming and calming at the same time when those guys check on you. They're not just trying to put their name on something and get it out there. They truly care for your health and your safety, so that means a lot. Here and kind of give you an idea of what happens. This is the Heim joint still bolted on. This goes onto that, so obviously we were able to see anything. This portion slides in.
Right.
This bolts up,
Right.
connects to that, and it keeps the rear end centered in the car. Well, once that broke, rear end started doing this. This is the anti-roll bar. It snapped the links on there. You can see where right here it crushed on the side, the drive shaft loop. And, the rest is history. But like I said, everything was looked at 3-4 times, made a pass, and went down. We thought it was good. So we're going to get the car over to Rick Jones, have him go through it and let us know what's right, what's wrong. I know when it leaves there, it's all going to be right. And until then, it's just a waiting game. And I get a lot of people asking me, are you going to try to get the car out next year? What's your plan? And my original plan was to upgrade the motor. Like I said, this is a 484 bore space motor built by Holbrook. Great company, they're Michigan-based, Chris Holbrook. Cast intake, 2 systems, 1 carburetor. It's a bad piece, but to mess with the guys that are out there, I don't feel that it's bad enough. So we were going to try to update the motor, so all the motor money is going into the chassis money. So our game plan now is everyone who knows me knows that I travel with my buddy Chad Somley a lot. And he has a green Mustang that was built by Team Z. It is currently at Team Z right now. And our goal before this happened was we were going to put this motor in Chad's car. And our local track, Milan Dragway, which they too called me and messaged me. It's amazing to feel the love like that from everyone. They're talking about having a Outlaw 632 class. And I really hope that they do, because we're going to take this motor, put it in Chad's car, and we're going to do some class racing next year. I have a lot of sponsors, and it's hard to give them love in grudge racing because I can't post times. I can't show what their products do. So class racing, posting times, that's going to really benefit the sponsors. It's not always about what can I get, it's also about what can I do for you. So whether Milan has the class or not, we're still going to do it. Duck, also known Donald Long, he has a big event coming up in February. We're taking Chad's car there to the Outlaw 632 class that he has there in February. I'm not exactly sure on the dates, you have to check. But our goal with this motor is to put it in Chad's car, do some Outlaw 632 racing, get this built, get it fixed. I'm hoping around March or so it's back to being a roller, everything's done. And then at that time, start saving again, and then try to get a bigger motor.
So Brian, is it fair to say that Chucky will be back?
Oh yes, I will never stop racing. I love the sport. It's some unfortunate incidents that happen, but like I said before, and you can quote me on this, life will give you a million reasons to stop. All you need is one to keep going. There's a lot of people out there with a lot harder life than me, and this stuff's a hobby to me. This is something that's fun. I don't let stuff like this get me depressed. You know, I have a great personal life. I have nothing to be depressed about. This is a minor setback, yes. It does suck, yes. But at the end of the day, I got my health. I can go work. I got a loving family, and I got some great fans and great sponsors. And I don't know what else you could really ask for, to be honest with you. So it does stink, but I honestly feel like some people don't know how to take certain things. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Some people take a lot of things a little too seriously in life.
All right.